5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I'm doing India, and India is located right here, just outside of China. India actually has another name. There's two names for India. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I know there's another name for it. People usually think, when they think of India, they think of India as poor, dry land, no houses, everybody living on the streets. But India is one of the most advanced nations on earth. It is just overlooked a lot, and even though it's in a midst of a landscape, and they have beautiful temples in the land, it's a fascinating country with diverse traditions, and they're surpassing China by being the 7th largest country in the world. India is also one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and Asia is their continent. The history of it begins with the Indus Valley civilization. India became an independent republic in the British Commonwealth in 1950. Over thousands of years, the history of India has been invaded from 4 different countries. Historically, India is an ancient land with continuous civilization of 5,000 years. The Constitution provides human rights for fundamental rights, which includes freedom of religion, clauses, freedom of speech. And today I'm going to be going over the SDG, or human rights, in the background. According to Philip G. Altbach, India is now the world's 2nd largest higher education system. I'm discussing my SDG goal, and they plan to further their education, and they only have, right now they have 4 different levels of education, but they plan to further that and expand it into more, just like how we are at a regular high school and a regular elementary. So instead of them only going through 4 different systems for school, they plan to up that in the future by 2035. And their rates for enrollment has gone up. The population for India is 1,393,000,000 altogether. The city population for them is 8,900 in the city of Delhi, which is their main capital. Their rural population was 900 million for last year, and it increased by 25%. Their name was given by a guy named Christopher Columbus, and they have 2 different languages, which is English and Hindi. And I know that when you go, like, I've spoken to a person from India before, and you know, their time differences are really, like, when it was night for me, it was daytime for them. I've spoken to somebody from India, and she was telling me that, like, you know, when you go to India, it's very different. Their clothing is different, so like the ladies have to wear like long skirts and like hijabs over like their hair because they have to be covered. And for human rights, they are pretty fair with their human rights, like they get freedom of speech and all that, but men do get a little bit more rights than they do when it comes to human rights, but they're pretty fair with their human rights. They have a lower primary for education, a upper primary, a high education, a higher secondary, and then they do have over 1,000 universities and colleges for students to go to. Let's see. The authority used repressive laws to silence critics by, like I said, for human rights, by freedom of expression, both often online. Human rights defenders include activists, journalists, students, lawyers, actors, and continue to face imitation and harassment, but they usually do have their system for like rights and everything else is pretty good. Their food is very different, obviously. They don't eat, when I was speaking to her, she said that they have different food, but, I mean, that's, explorer named Vasco da Gama became the first European to reach India on the Atlantic Ocean, and this happened back in 1497. So India has been around a long time. They fought in 4 wars. 3 they fought 1 in China. They fought the border war against Kargil, Paston, and they also, their country size is, in kilometer, is 3,287,263. And like I said, they're the largest country in the world. They have 54 central universities, 416 state universities, 125 deemed universities, and 361 private universities. They're a very nice country to go to. When me and her, we had a pretty long conversation. She said that you should know India when you know their language when you come down there, because not many people in India can speak English. But other than that, it's beautiful. Their capital's beautiful. Their cities are beautiful. But there are parts of India that are kind of like more poor, where you'll see people sitting on the street with their kids and just small houses. And so there's 2 different parts of India. One part of it is poor, and the other part of it is more, I guess you could say, rich. I'm not sure how to say it, but yeah, that's all I got.